What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We have another fine product from S&S Diesel Motorsport, but this one has been on the market for quite some time. This is the disaster prevention kit. We don't do too many of these now because the pump's been out, but this customer has opted to do so, and we're going to show you guys 3 years later again how to do the disaster prevention kit and a new CCV box on this 2019 Super Duty. All right, guys, let's go. All right, guys, thanks so much for coming back and checking this out. To make sure to hit that like and subscribe. Right off the rip, part number, new 2023 CCV box and up. That's what you're gonna get. We're gonna be installing the disaster prevention kit, the Gen 2.1. And this is it right here. We're gonna go through the installation process and a couple of other things. I don't have to visit these too much anymore, but a lot of guys ask me when I take their trucks apart if I see any metal on the metering valve, and if it looked like that, by golly, you wouldn't be driving in. So great instructions, very nice kit, one of the most OEM looking kits that's aftermarket that we put on these trucks, and it's very nice compared to the DCR, which completely rids yourself of the CP4. So what we're going to do today is take the intake manifold off, and we're going to gain access to this puppy right here. This is the metering valve in the pump, and I guess let's go over some of these things because S&S has taken a lot of great time and effort to make these instructions for us, and they're very nice and colorful. And this is the fuel system on a stock truck. You can see there's no filter here on the return side like there is with the flow with a disaster prevention kit on. We're taking the metering valve out right there, taking this out, and we're putting this spacer block in, this bypass block, and it is cutting off the internal feed from the CP4. So when all this stuff fails, it's going to send it through the metering valve, just like you saw this picture right here. Where'd it go? Where are we? All that metal goes through the metering valve and then out from the pump and into the rails and the injector. So we're totally ridding ourselves and blocking that feed off. And on top of it, because we have a failure, we're putting a filter on the return side so that no metal or contaminants gets back to the tank. So if you guys want, screenshot that. This is the most focus I can give you. We got a little color legend down here that you guys can check out, but that is what we're up against for today. So this is a brand new one out of a 2024. I'm using that as a test piece, but we have a 2019 here, very similar, different intake manifolds, but this one has, I believe, 104-ish thousand miles on it. Got a couple of, I don't know, questionable things. I've never seen anybody do this before, but we're gonna work around that. We do have to put a new CCV box on because the customer has requested we have to do so, and I told him about his batteries last night. I think he's gonna have to get some new batteries because for a 2019 and being the original ones, that one looks actually pretty good. It's this one that I'm more worried about. But 2019 in Michigan, original batteries? Dude, you got your luck. You got your money's worth too. All right, we are gonna get started right now. All right, I'm gonna get all of my sockets preemptively. I've done this enough, I know what I'm gonna need, and I usually like to get all those out. We have 10s, 8s, 7s. I like an assortment of extensions, but I like to put my extensions right here. Sockets stay right here. We're gonna need trim tool. I'll set this right here. Take care across the battery. Positive's here. Keep it away from the positive. What else are we gonna need? little baby trim tool. Not gonna drain the coolant. I'm gonna try not to drain the coolant. What else are we gonna need? A longer quarter drive extension. We'll put that guy right here. But I think, other than a light and the other contraptions we're gonna be up against here, I don't know what size those are gonna be, but I'd say let's get rocking and rolling. Battery check, 4 bars. We're on loosen. Okay, just like at the casino, we're starting. Okay, 7 milli, the air filter cleaner snorkel off. Oh yeah. Okay, we'll take this guy and kind of just set this aside. Take this trim tool. Looks like somebody's already replaced this line. Gee, I wonder why. At least this one's not going to be all brittle. Take this off. This is where we get the small trim tool. Come over here and get underneath this small guy. I like moving around the front of the engine, and then I am left-handed, so then I go back to the left side of the motor and kind of work my way to the right. Right now I'm going for the vacuum connection. And I'll show you once I get that off. This is the connection that's right down there too. You always push the connection together, hit the button, and then pull it apart. Sometimes that one's a little tough. So kind of do something like that. You're gonna hear a loud air rushing noise if you forget it. So if you forget it, trust me, you'll know. Take this off. Okay, we got floppy bits. I like to take the light and have strategic placement to show you guys. You're gonna need trim tool and clip. Perfect shot. Take this off just like that, and then you'll have enough room to wiggle this out. Button, push it together, squeeze the button, and now don't yank this because we have this little plastic little trim clamshell. Just leave that thing sitting like that. Grab the light back. I'm gonna switch to 7 and get an 8. I'm gonna take a small EGR pipe out. We have to reuse the bolts, so. This is why I always use the wobbles. Wobbles are my favorite. You know, my buddy Wobbles. Okay, bolt. These are not magnetic, so don't drop them. Take this guy out, and I do something kind of like that. Set it away. Okay. All right, we're getting floppy here. I want this to be out of my way, so I'm gonna do something like this. Now it's gonna allow me to come over here. I'm just gonna get this pipe out of the way. Visit rainmanauto.com and get yourself a PTT screwdriver and our merch and various other accoutrements for your Superduty, including parts. Okay, we're gonna need that clip. I'm gonna pull this off. Save the clip. Save the clock tower. Save the clip. Put the clip right back in. Now down here we have a 7 mil that we're going to need this extension for, and a long 7. And we're going to come all the way over here to the cold side connection to intercooler, and we're going to go right here. Now I've mentioned to this client already that he may want to get a new cold side charge tube, only because I'm starting to see a mark here, and this is right where you guys can see that right there. It's starting to I don't know, chafe, starting to get to a spot where we're gonna have a boost leak. And what I did was I stuck my arm down here and just twisted the pipe like this and was able to pull it off. So This side I'm going to take the throttle body off, and this connection right here, where am I? Right here, here we go. This connection, we got to pull this little tab out. Not pull it out, but pop it out. Whoops. Come on, can we get it? There we go. Pop that little tab out, and then, got it. And then what I do, instead of hitting the button, I come back here again with my little screwdriver, and I'm popping the tab in the connector. And what it'll allow me to do is to pull that straight off. So I'm coming in here like this, between the throttle body and the connector, and doing this so I don't hit this button, because it can be kind of tough and it hurts my thumb. So that's kind of what I do. Throttle body, 8 millis. You can use quarter drive. I'm just gonna rip them out with these 3/8. The only reason why I'm doing this little bit extra work is because when you go to take the lower intake manifold off, it doesn't get inhibited by this. It's a little easier removal. All right, grab this gasket, grab your screwdriver again, pop this gasket off with it, because we're gonna reuse it. I'm pulling the throttle body and the bolts up, all as one. All right, back on the passenger side, and get this tube out of my way. See how much better that is? You just get that little hose out of your way. Okay, so this is my method, and it may be stupid to others, but I need this out of my way, and I don't want to forget to put this back on. So what I do is I will disconnect this. This is for the glow plugs. Hit the button and pull it apart. Okay, so now I get this out of the way, but if I forget, the check engine light's gonna be on, so I know that I'll be able to put it right back in here. You can either write yourself a note, but sometimes I'll forget. All right, this side may look a little tight, and it does, but we gotta visually remove everything from our viewing area. We have a twang that sits on one of the intake studs right here. Got that off. We have a map sensor. Swapping over to screwdriver, hitting button, removing sensor, connector. And then we're gonna get your trim tool and go behind this. Don't bust that. Come in here like this. Sometimes the trim clip will break, just like it did here. We take the EBP sensor, little tether connector off. I'm gonna move this over here so that I can get my finger on the exhaust back pressure sensor connector. Sometimes the electrical connector housing stuff will actually stay in the EBP sensor. I don't know if you guys can see that purple thing. So when you put the connector back on, just make sure that you're gonna have that situated correctly. I'm gonna take my long nose and I'm gonna wiggle this thing off. We're gonna reuse it right there. Okay, so I'm gonna take my trim tool, because I'm gonna use it as a finger. I'm gonna take all that wiring. Now look what I did with all that wiring. It's completely out of the way. It's back from where I'm working, okay? Let's see if I can get just a little bit more. There we go. I like putting it all the way over. In fact, the twang that was on the intake stud, I like to hold right underneath that coolant line. That way it's completely out of my way. Now look at that. That looks so much more visually pleasing because everything's out the way. So, I don't know if you guys can tell, but we have a heat shield right here. The heat shield's tethered to the back of the EGR cooler. I'm just kind of bending the foot out of the way. We can bend it back afterwards. All right, this EGR is going to be inhibiting our space, but I'm going to switch over to a Weeble Wobble 10 mil, and I'm just going to loosen the nut that's holding the EBP sensor bracket. I'm not taking it all the way off. And take your trim tool, and I'm going to take my sensor, and I'm going to go just like this. Check it out. Get that right out of the way, just like that. Now we have better access to our bolts. So let's start with the 8 milli. Let's put our long extension on, and a deep 8 will take care of that studly do right here. And then we'll use the same one, do this one. Okay. Now, one thing I want to mention is this black trim tab that's stuck in here. Look at that. Now, I could have removed the intake manifold and jostled around, and I wouldn't have known that this fell out from that hole right there. So if you pop the wiring off the top of the intake manifold, make sure you get this little guy out of here so that you don't inadvertently cause you to do something else. I like that. That looks good. How about a little light placement so you guys can see? So this is why I like the long necks. This is 8 milli. I'm going in this way. EVP's out of the way. Neutral drop. Okay. And then I'm gonna take this out and I'm gonna come back this way. Nope. This way. Nope. Maybe we have to put a little tiny extension. Let's try that again. I would hate for somebody to do this with hand tools. There we go. All right, that side is taken care of. All right, I'm gonna 8 milli these intake bolts out. They're captured, they're gonna stay in there. Okay, we just have these ones over here on the right. Let's see, I think we're gonna do this charge air cooler duct. So if you guys just saw us do the Banks tubes, that was the first ones I've done on the 24. Well, first Banks tubes I've ever done. What'd you guys think of them? We're reusing the factory ones. I showed you guys how to take this tube off in that video, but grab yourself a heavy duty pick and we're gonna break the seal. I'm not poking through the rubber, we're just breaking the seal on the intercooler against the rubber because it gets hot and sticky, and I think that may have did it. Yep. So I take my arm like this and I'm gonna help the bottom while I wiggle the top and pull it off like this. So now we have intercooler duct just kind of chilling right here. I don't know if I want that to go down. Just chilling right here. All right, so now we're gonna need to take the little clip out of here or release the clip. Let's see if we can do it with the big trim tool. Did I get it? Yep, got it. Just like how you guys saw me do here. And then you take your tool out of the way, go just like that. Reusable. All right, so now we gotta deal with this stuff. What the heck? I don't even know what size that is. Is this gonna be a 10? Nope. Let's see, quarter drive 11? Yeah. Okay, quarter drive 11. This is unprecedented. Little tiny pliers. All right, I don't drop those. I don't know who did, maybe he just bought this, so I don't know if he did this, but I don't know if I'm gonna put this back on. This isn't necessary unless there's a problem. I don't know, we'll see. Ooh, there's a bolt. I got 2 nuts. Okay, we didn't drop nothing. I'll put this up here. That was trans, that was oil. Smaller one. All right, we got to take these loose now. Looking like we got an 8 milli in the back. I gave it to the guy in the back, man. Right here. Oh, let's put put the light back. Let's try this again. There we go. There we go. All right, now we got a couple of tennies. Tennies holding oil dipstick tube to the intake. Pull that out. 10 mil. And then we have 10 mil nut right here. Okay. So now we're gonna make a little sanitary napkin here for the fuel so we can contain the spillage. Okay, we got the supply. No big deal. Got 2 tabs right here. No big deal. And then looks like we have a paperclip type looking thing. Okay. Pull the paperclip out. Super weird. All right, I'm gonna take the paperclip all the way out. And then take this paperclip out too. All right, second paperclip out. Not really a paperclip, just saying. All right, now what I do, I take my 3 fingers and do something like this. And I come back with my rags. I'm covering the fuel filter ports. Okay, fuel filter ports covered, lifting it up, not making any mess, and then disposing of this properly. I'm gonna shove a rag down in here. We gotta take the CCV box out, so we're gonna unfortunately make a way bigger of a mess than what I wanna do. All right, now that these are loose, I'm gonna go for this fuel filter cup, and I'm gonna take my high-speed ratchet, my 8 mil straight chrome, and I'm going to take the fuel supply line to CP4 tether bracket bolt out. I'm gonna go like that. I'm gonna take this one out. I'm gonna leave it in there. Take this one back here. Same thing, I'm gonna leave it. And I want you to take your right hand and I want you to pull up on this line, and in fact it's hitting. Okay, 2020 is a little different. So we're gonna have to take this line off now. This green line, not green line, but green quick disconnect. This line right here, I'm taking the connection off down here because I have to lift the line up a little higher to get some clearance. We're not reusing this anyway. It's coming off. All right, bye-bye. Now we got more room. Okay, that allows me to pull the fuel filter cup out. All right, just like that. Gonna reuse this. All right, now we have the connections on this side of the intake. We have a 12 mil quarter drive, 12 mil right here. Rest of them are 8s. I can't stress to you enough how much this long neck ratchet helps out. All right, so kind of move the lines off to the side here. It allows you to come back here around Satan's corner and pull this bolt out. But see how I have my ratchet facing? I'm not facing up, I'm facing forward so that the ratchet can come up. All right, well that is it for the upper intake. This puppy should be ready to come off. Let's pop it loose. Maybe more of a pry bar. Okay, that was stuck. See what I'm saying about that little trim clip? You know, you do some maneuvering around like that and This is what I'm talking about. All right, you can either have an assistant help you and hold these lines, or I would maybe get you a zip tie and go around this ground and hold these lines out of the way like that, okay? We're gonna try to get this light situated. I'm gonna pull this off. Let's check it out. You just gotta find the right angle. Sometimes these bolts go down in the intake and it'll inhibit your movement, just like it is now. Sometimes I have to take this one out. Okay, now let's try. Come on. There we go. These bolts don't come out and they hold, they'll fall down on you. Okay, Junior's already grabbing what we need to grab. One goes on one side, one goes on the other. You can see one's rounded and one's flat. The flat goes to the outside. Okay, now we're safe. Everything's cool, we're caked off, and we can continue working. Nasty. What's 8 milli? Did I get myself? I feel like I got something hurting my... No, I'm fine. I feel something hurt inside there, like a piece of plastic was pushing on me. Emerging from my cocoon. Woo. All right, 8 milli, this off. We have 3 10s that are holding this to the block. But check this out, before you do that, I don't want this to move because I want you to have enough maneuverability to pop this off. This is the CCV. This is what I'm doing. I've already twisted and broke it. I'm prying. Did you see what I did? I'm barely doing anything. I'm bouncing and turning at the same time. It's not that hard. Now that the CCV's out, go ahead and pull your 10 mil. 10 mil. 10 mil. 10 mil. And you're gonna pull the lower intake manifold right out. Welcome to my boudoir. Look at this nonsense. Holy hell. Okay, I'm gonna need to, let's go down here. Let's see if I got a spare one. Let's see, is this gonna fit? Oh, I got 2 in here. Let's see if this will fit over it. It should. Oh, love it. Wow. All right, let's get this napkin. We'll put this in here. And we're gonna use the old S&S box. I hope he's not gonna want his parts back because, well, I can't give him anything back now. That's quite a distribution network. Holy Christ. What do we got? Any treats? Oh, he's dead. There's babies. No kidding. Whoa. Oh, this is a sarcophagus. Well, that sucks, little guys. They just cooked alive. Poor little buzzards. They had no choice. You can see their claws and everything just screaming for help. Their poor little bodies. Aww. I feel bad. Look at them little guys. Poor little thing. Oh, look at his little leg just popped off. Oh. And look, there's little mama. Probably trying to shield her babies. Or maybe those are all just babies. Maybe this thing is full of babies. Wow, poor thing. Oh, here's one more piece. Yep. Yep. Poor little guys. R.I.P. Give them the proper send-off. Okie doke. Well, that's where we need to be, right here. Here is the connector for the metering valve. Go ahead and do one of those and go ahead and pop that guy off. Now, guys, I cannot stress to you right now about cleanliness. Cleanliness has to be at your forefront. If you can't have cleanliness, I don't want you to do this job. Okay, we're flooding the area with tetrazide, the brown stuff that they rub on your body before you get surgery. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. I like it, I like it. Dry some of that out. I don't want to hook the air hose up because of all the other remnants that are down in here. Maybe I'll take a napkin and my screwdriver and just kind of do a little pre-wipe. Okay, I like the way that looks. To do this job, I bought a T25, but it is a super long T25. Regular T25, that's not gonna cut it. I couldn't put it in here because this is gonna be too fat against the body of the CP4. Let me show you how. So I'm gonna get quarter drive tools and a magnet. Quarter drive, I'm gonna go right for this one. Okay. And I'm gonna pull this all the way out. We're not reusing these anymore. Get your magnet. I guess I didn't loosen it all the way. Come on. There we go. Okay, that one's out. Now you can barely see the other one, and I can't, so I'm just gonna feel for it. It should be right there. So that body of the bit holder would not fit right there with an extension. So you gotta have some sort of means to do it like this. Pull this guy all the way out. Okay, this one's gonna be definitely all the way out. All right, now I'm gonna get my magnet. Oh, look, I just noticed right here, there's another mouse. Oh, man. Maybe that's Mama. That looks more developed.
That one looks less baked.
Poor little guys. Okay, one, but not a whole family. That sucks. Sorry. All right, coming with the magnet. I can't see it, but I can hear it. There it is. We're not using it. You can get rid of them. Fresh, white, sanitary napkin. I'm twisting on the metering valve. I just broke the seal, and I'm putting my finger on here. I'm pulling up on it, wiggling it back and forth. Okay. Remember the picture from SNS and the instructions. There's not one speck of metal on here. If there was, you wouldn't be running. So when you guys ask that question, well, did I have any metal? If you had any metal, you would not be running. You would have came in on a tow truck. So let's look down in here. That looks good. That looks really good. What I want you to be careful too, I took this line off first, and that emptied out this rail right here. So now when I took the valve out, not barely any fuel went into the bolt holes. I don't want to bring contaminants down there and bring the air blow gun and blow the holes out and risk something going down into that cavity. I do not have a cap for that. So we're gonna set this right here because we're gonna use that in just 2.5 seconds. All right, this is the kit. I've only took the fittings out of here to do a little thumbnail for you guys, but we gotta put these O-rings on. Here's an unopened bag. This is going to the metering valve cavity. All right. We're using these bolts, but most importantly, we need this part right here. This O-ring goes on like that, and this O-ring goes down in this groove. Show Stella how she got her groove back. Put that guy down right in there. You see it kind of wanted to bounce out. Oh, it came right out there too. Let's make sure I got that in all the way. Yep, it's in there. Looks good. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit of Vaseline on it. Kind of act like a sticky stick. I'm gonna go right here in the corner. Kind of put some down in that little cavity. Take up the gap. Put some right here. All right. So when you go to put this in, because there's fuel down in that cavity, what do you think's going to want to squirt up? Fuel. So be careful that you're not getting fuel into those bolt holes, because you don't want to have a hydro-locked condition when tightening these bolts. And I guess I should get into action. I had to buy a long 4 mil to do the same thing. Okay? So before I put this down in the truck, I am going to get my bolts in my metering valve, just like this. No contaminants. Okay, O-rings are on there, just double checking. Everything looks good. S&S logo is on the back side. And I'm gonna push it down. See that fuel go right on my hand? It went right up in the hole. That's fine. It didn't go down into the bolt hole. Here's my metering valve. I got the bolts already in it. Putting the bolts in first. I'm pushing the metering valve in. Okay, metering valve is seated. I'm gonna take my 4 mil here. I'm gonna bring it down by hand. I'm still holding this hose right here, just kind of almost right there. I see it pull down. And let's do this one. You'll see it sit flush, and you know it's in there correctly. I would highly, highly recommend to not use any power tools. So I have a cool little 3/8 like palm ratchet. Fuel all over. And I just kind of do something like this. Like that, you'll feel it stop. You'll feel it stop. That's why I'm using such a small ratchet. I'm not using one that's this. I'm not using one that's this long. Just a little palm. I can feel the bolts. It stopped moving. All right. Come back for your electrical connector. Plug that guy back in. Red tab it. Now I go back to the S&S kit, and they have provided some really nice clamshell zip ties, and that is what we're going to use to kind of fix this guy to where we want. But I'm going to wrap the zip tie around the line. Okay, and then I'm going to take a second one. I'm going to do the same thing. I remember I made the mistake and zip tied the line. The rubber line was like, wait, what am I doing? All right, let's clip off the excess. Clip off the excess, clip off the excess. Now you're gonna take these lines, you're gonna take these clips, rotate them down like this. Watch this, clip this in. Looking factory. Look at that. I love the way that looks. Keep them right on that plane. The CCV box is going to go right around. And then our new fuel line. I'll come underneath here. Our new fuel line will clip right here. See that one we had to take off? It's going to clip right there, but we'll wait. We'll wait to do that just yet. I like the way that looks. That's good. That's good. I think right now, let's go ahead and put back on the lower intake manifold. Lower intake manifold. Give it a little wipe. Tell you, man, that CCV. The CCV really plays hell. Jiminy Cricks. Bolts in, bolts in. Okay, let's go on a search and rescue. tighten this down first because I don't want to tighten the snorkel and then have it be torqued while I tighten these down. So now I know it's completely one with the engine. I can go back and hit this 8mm boot right here. Since I got some lightage in here, I like the way that all looks. Everything look all right. I don't want to push the CCV box on. We're gonna have to replace the CCV box, which I guess we could do now. Get it out of the way. All right, we'll put the light over like this. We have some nasty oil we're gonna make. All right, CCV box on demand. We got a couple of 10 millis. Actually, 4 10 millis. Put this thing back on, loosen, neutral drop. They're all the same bolts too. All the CCV boxes are the same bolt pattern. So if you guys are like, well, mine's a 20, don't worry, it'll be okay. All right, that's oil fuel soaked. There is an 8mm bolt that holds the fuel supply rail to the valve cover. I'm gonna pop this guy loose. Try not to go on a search and rescue. Got it. I don't know if you guys can see that bolt right down there. There's a 10mm bolt. You can just see the head. Right, actually, let me take this fuel line off for the SMS. Let's put a rag down in here, see how much is gonna leak out. Okay, not a lot. I'm gonna take that fuel line, kind of do something like this, get it out of my way, come back over here, let it drip into my rag. All right, let's see if we got enough slack. We should be. Okay, I got that one out. Now there's 2 more way in the back, man. I gave it to the guy in the back. All right, let's put the light back here. There it is. You see those? Yeah, you see those back there? That's what I'm going for right now. All right, quarter drive stuff. Okay, I'm on one. All right, I don't want to do a search and rescue. Let's get the soldier out. All right, last one, we got to go behind the lines. Ooh, which one do I want to use? Let's see if I can sneak this better behind. Oh yeah. Can I get the right angle? Neutral drop. Oh, now the thing won't work. Okay, neutral drop. Neutral drop. Okay, we got it. Okay, I'm gonna go back with my phalanges. Last one. I move this line, fuel line. CCV's disconnected. Now this is the only part I hate, man. This is just gonna make just a flippin' mess. There we go. That's gonna hold me out the way. All right, just get over it. Let's rip it off. Here's the CCV. Please don't make a mess. Not too bad, not too bad. All right, let's take a look at the area. What do we see down in there? Anything out of the ordinary? No, just a nasty oil leak right here. Sometimes there's condensation and liquidy looking stuff in here. Don't be alarmed. That's its job. Oh, disgusting. I don't think I made that big of a mess. Now I do see oil leaking down the valve cover, but that is to be expected. So I'm gonna do something like this. Come on, baby. I'm gonna hose everything down like that. Can't really get the brake clean in there sideways, so.
Get the spot on the stamping on the valve cover.
Got it. I see it right down here under the injector hole down. Yeah, I still see a little bit. What if I... Damn, I just don't have no place to put the can. What if I go like this? Ooh, I'm on something. Flood that area, and I'll come back from below and clean it. That's about as good as it's gonna get. All right, I'm gonna wipe the back. I'm gonna wipe its backside. All right, she's wiped. She's prepped. Let me pull this tampon out. Ugh. New box. Ooh. Ah. All right. We're gonna put her in. Same bolt pattern. Just a better, way better connection. Frees up so much more room in here. Really looks nice. I'd recommend, if you don't have a sensor on this end, to just get you one of these. Way nicer. And they're only like 135, 140 bucks. You can find them online. Not the aftermarket ones. Find the Ford one. Oh, almost got snagged by a zippy. All right, 3 bolts are in. And the new CCV box, going around the back corner, you can't see the bolt anymore, so you gotta get creative. Okay, bolt is in. I am spinning said bolt. Like, look how much more room there is against the intake. Man, so much better. We can get all these guys down. 10 mil. Wobble. Okay, socket stuck. Got it. All right, we'll go to is the back. Let's see, can I do this again? Oh yeah. I can do that. Oh yeah, I can totally do that. Oops, sorry, dude. And then my socket's stuck. Do I need the small one? Smaller extension for the back. Let's see, maybe I'll pull this down. What do I do? Oh, I might be able to go just like this. Where's that? I see it. Come on, baby. Come on, mama. There we go. There we go. Yeah, okay. I don't want to clip that on yet because we're going to be working on it. But there's a new CCV box. What do you guys think? New CCV hose right there. You can clip it right on. Goes right. I'm going to wait until I put these other parts on so I don't have a clearance issue. But, ooh, wow, look at that. I might do that to put the intake on. Guy's going to hold that. All right, intake's going on. We'll leave that guy down there. Yep, we'll leave this guy down here. I'll have you hold this, and I'm gonna grab the intake. Now, this is what I was explaining to you guys before I took all this off. Here's that heat shield. All right, it was sitting like this against the cooler. I just pushed it this way so I can put it back on. But you don't want to do this, put it on and then put the intake down and you're on here like this. So when you're putting this stuff back in, make sure that all this stuff is accounted for and you're not missing something and it's not tucked underneath where it's not supposed to be. You guys might think that it's hard to take the intake off, and it can be. But what they also want you to do is to take the cowl off. And I did it once and I'll never do it again. All right, that heat shield's accounted for. Let me visually inspect this one. Oh, we at? Oh, I have a visual. I have a visual, and we are back around the corner it's supposed to be. I like it. Put this guy back down. All right, I like to start in the middle. I got them all started by hand. They're all good. Tighten the middle, and then tighten it out. 3/8. I'm gonna come back and do this right here. Okay, that's tight. Now I'm gonna go and do the same side that I did before. Let's come back over here to the passenger side. Go ahead and I'm gonna tighten these fasteners. Go here. Oh, I got that one. Okay, I'm gonna swap to the deep, and I'll come over here with the long extension. We'll grab that stud right here. Okay, we'll grab this one. Now, we already took care of the heat shield back there. So let's bring our EBP back down to earth. Grab that 10mm nut and bring it down. Grab your trim tool, bring all this wiring back. We got it up underneath this hose right here. Oh yeah. Now all this stuff has memory. So you guys should be able to have no problem. Got the stud right down on here, with my fingers pushing on. All right, what else do we have? We have the map sensor. Here's our EBP. Let's see what we got here. Got a little bit of twangle going on. Where is it? There we go. All right. Map sensor. There we go. I'll put what's left of that twang in there. There we go. I had just enough meat to, oh, maybe not. Yeah, that would be good. All right, 8mm. The stud's on. All right, we need to get our heat shield for our EBP. Put that back on. Make sure the cut side, like you see here, is towards the inside. All right, try to lasso this thing on here. There we go. Remembering how you had it. Only goes on one way. There we go. Okay, that's on. And there we go. Now we're not hooked. All right, everything is secure over here. I like it. I like it. Let's do this EGR pipe. Bring this coolant line back up. Oh, and I just remembered. Look at that. That's why I do it. I seen it disconnected. All right, I like it. We'll do this small EGR pipe. Put this guy in here like this. We're using the gaskets. I use them all the time. I never have any leak. Eight mils. Don't forget your electrical connector. Lasso it back down in that clip. And we have the connector down here. Let's pull a little slack out and clip it right back into the lower intake manifold. 8 milli, quarter drive, EGR bolts coming at you. These are not the ones that break. Those ones are down there. Okay, that really completes this side. I can go ahead and put this back in. And I can go ahead and put this back in. And I will grab the air snorkel. Air snorkel. Air snorkel. 7 mil. Okay. Passenger side is done, the left side is done. I'm left-handed, left side is done. Everything is accounted for. Let's move over. Let's just double check this heat shield. Okay, it's totally loose. 8 mils coming at you. And we got a 12 right up front. 12. Coming at you. All right, we'll get this out of the way. We'll get this out of the way. Let's put that fuel filter cut back in. No big deal. Drop that sneaky bolt in first. And then get these guys in their spots. Starting by hand. Oh yeah. Okay, I left that 8 mil bolt out down here by the rail. Give me just a little extra. Okay, and we have our 8 mil in here. That guy is going on right here. All right, now I'm gonna go back down here and put my 8 mil back in. Let's see if I can finagle Jethro in here. He's over there churning butter with Jebediah. Got him. All right, we're all situated. I think it would be worth to, I'll put the fuel filter in now. Fuel filter going in. Little bit of a leak, just a little bit. Okay, and put this guy on. Oh yeah. Then remember, we got those paper clip ones for the return. Okay, here's our CCV. We'll go ahead and plug that in. That's ready to go. I love it. We have this stuff on the SNS lines. Gonna pull those out. Take this red one. You're gonna push that on and push the locking tab down. This one's gonna go right here. No problemo. And then this guy, we're gonna clip this on. We're gonna do this little paper clip. Okay. Kind of weird. Okay, we're gonna put this one on and put the little paper clip security lock thing back on, I guess. Why does that not feel right to me? Oh, maybe I had to take my purse out. All right, that's not coming off. I like it, I like it, I like it. I'm gonna take your last O-ring, your last clip, zip tie that SNS gave you. I'm right around the oil fill tube. Cut the zip tie. Now we have one more tether. Look at that, dude, that looks so nice. That looks so nice. In the kit, SNS gives you 2 lines, and these lines here, one is gonna go right here, right on this one where you took it off, okay? Clip that on, leave this guy right here behind your master cylinder. The next one, now pay attention, you're gonna take this, you're gonna rotate the fitting in the line. This just spun right inside there, okay? So I'll put this down here like this, and I'll pop this guy in, give it a tug. Now, both of our lines will be right here for the filter. That's where you're gonna end up. Let's go ahead and put our hot side pipe on. Oh, the little underside band came off. Bands will make a dance. Not these bands. Okay, I like it. Get this guy out of the way. Maybe not. Clip that on. You guys totally heard that. Rotate this out of the way. Connection to intercooler. I like it. 7 mil. 7 mil. Nice and tight. All right, next part is the throttle body. And I would advise you guys to, before you got too crazy, is get your electrical connector, pop this guy on now. Trust me. Makes it way easier. Gasket right there, bolts going through the gasket. I'm using my pinky and my pointer finger on my right hand to push the bolts in the hole. It's already going through the gasket. It's all the way down. And the bolt that I'm not holding, I'm going to draw in. Now that's going to hold everything in place. These bolts have little fingers on it that kind of align itself in a hole, and that hole being the lower intake. So I'll kind of tuck this right here. Cold side charge tube coming at you. Right onto the intercooler. All the way seated. That all the way seated. Coolant line. Vacuum line, which is right, where'd it go? Right here. No? She don't want to work today, eh? There we go. Got it. Let's peel this off. Okay. Now I'll put this guy on. That looks better. Put that on. All right. Basically completed, except for a couple more things. Before we forget, let's do the old dipstick tube. This goes over that stud. And we have a nut over that 12 mil bolt that we took out when we took the intake off. We got 10 mil bolt back here, oil dipstick tube to intake manifold. We can't tighten anything else before we tighten that stuff. 10 mil. And we got an 8 mil. 8 mil right here coming at you. 8 milli coming at you. I like it, I like it. All right, now we got this goofy stuff. Super goofy. I get it. Necessary? I don't think so. Let's see if we can run this in here. There's one. Okay, there's two. I'm through them. Okay. Hold it with my fingers. Okay. And I guess I'll just put this one on for added, because that's how it was. I'll give that one just a little snug with the wrench. A little overkill, but I guess I get it. All right, the last thing we're gonna do finally is putting the filter on, and we can send that puppy down the road. Get your trim tool, do something like that, do something like that. That one's already done. Get your small trim tool and get this little guy out of here. Like that. Not gonna reuse this anymore. Okay, we have a bag of O-rings and these fittings. Why don't you get me a 15 mil wrench? 15 mil wrench coming in. We're gonna screw these fittings into the side of this housing that S&S provides, this manifold. Give me 15 mil these boys. Ugh. Like it. I'm gonna take this filter back off. Now I would be changing this every time you change your fuel filters. this was on here, so go ahead and take that off. Screw the filter on. Snug. I go in this bag. Get these little rubber isolators. Screw that one in. Just hand tight. And screw this one in. Grab me that long neck ratchet.
With one on it.
Yep.
Not the 11.
Yep. Okay, he pointed out we still have an 11 on, because that's good. We have two 11 mil nuts. Okay, give me a little, tighten my nuts. Bop, 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 bop. Nice. I like it. I like it. All right, so this is going to attach us to the cowl. That's going to be, put the washer the right way. You guys see the rounded side? Yeah, I like that. Go in your kit. We are going to need, I believe, a 5. Yep. I take this little guy like this. And this winds up being like the absolute perfect holder. Grab these two. All right, we're going to put this down through here. I'm going to set my little ratchet. Look at that. Become an excellent holder. I'll take my ratcheto. I'm going to swap on a 10 mil deep. All right, now this is where you guys might have a little trickiness or maybe not good fumbling around. But you're going to find your stud coming through the cowl. Okay, it's right. Okay, I'm going to set this guy on here like this. See what I'm doing? Going all the way through. So now that stud is all the way through that bracket. I'm going to take this 10 mil nut. I'm going to come back here and put the nut on. Now I'm not holding the bolt because the cowl's kind of holding it. All right, see it? You're going to take your ratchet, come back here. This is why I grab the wobbles. Now I can grab my tool and just snug it down. See how I'm holding my tool as I was tightening it? Pull my bit back out. Slap this cowl back down. And then we have 2 fuel lines. 1 fuel line here. And we have 1 fuel line right here. Ow. It is time to prime the engine. But before we do that, we can't turn the key on because I forgot to put this on. Okay. Just like at the casino, we're done. Hands empty, tools away. Now, this is the time where we can prime the vehicle. We're not only going to be filling the fuel filter back up with fuel, but we're going to be filling the S&S kit now with fuel and that block plate that we had to install on top of the CP4. So, let me turn the key on. You're going to hear an indicative sound. You're going to hear an indicative sound of the fuel flowing. Okay, I can hear it. Listen. 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 Might be 2 key cycles. Okay, hold on. I hear the fuel going through the filter. I hear it still running. Okay, new key cycle. Okay, listen, listen. Okay, I don't hear any more bubbling. Back on. Make sure you have no leaks. Okay, I think that is good. We're gonna go ahead and start it. Fire in the hole. like it. I like it. Stick your light down in here. Make sure you have nothing spraying down where that block was. But all these lines and everything is nice and tight. The last thing I'm gonna need to do is clean up a little bit of oil and fuel that I spilled when doing the repair and get this truck back to the customer. I appreciate you guys for watching. I have done this video about 3 years ago, and I thought it was time that we do another one, especially on my favorite, the Superduty. If you guys are trying to get your truck in for service or want to come and visit and maybe get some of the problems taken care of with your truck, make sure to hit the email right here below. Visit me, powerstroke.trucktech@gmail.com, or visit the channel email, Powerstroke Tech Talk, WAROD. Again, I appreciate you guys for watching. Remember to like, comment, sub, share, and come see me with your Superduty. Now let's get the thing running right. See ya. And I forgot, just as I was getting rid of all of the garbage, if you have this in your kit, this is for 2020 trucks only. So if you don't have one, then you either can hold on to it or you guys can pitch it. So extra parts, don't worry, you can reuse them for something else.